What's up, everybody? Zach here. We're in the Nerd Cave. Derek will be on here in just a few minutes. But guys, I hope you are doing fantastic tonight. Let me all know how you are down in the comments below. It is Thursday, November, guys. We're already in November, which makes no sense to me because it was just October, like the beginning of October. Like, I know it was literally like October, like 3 days ago. Don't come at me like that. But it feels like October went by like a flash. It's like boom, it was done. I'm like, what happened to October? I need my days back. Nate, welcome to the stream. Hope you're doing well. Brandon, welcome to the stream. Amy says it can't be November yet. That's how I feel. I'm like, I don't know what's going on. All of these days just like, I don't know. It feels like it went quick and lasted pretty long too. Yeah, I can see where you're coming from on that, Brandon. 100%. Yeah, October did fly by. And it's like, it feels like the beginning of October just happened. And now we're at the beginning of November. And I'm like, this makes no sense. It makes no sense to me. But guys, I hope you're doing well. Let me know how you are down in the comments below. If you haven't already, guys, you should totally check out our Spider-Man review. I'm gonna pop the link down in the chat, Rooney, so all of you can check that out after the show if you haven't already, because it's a good one, y'all. It is a good one. We had a ton of fun. We had Bo from Bo Knows Gaming on, and it was a ton of fun. So highly suggest go watching it. It is spoiler free. So for anyone that is wanting to play the game, you're not getting spoilers. Okay. We're being kind. It was really good. Nate says it wasn't even spoilery. I watched it today. And that was the whole like point. We were trying to keep it as spoiler free as possible. And, you know, like pretty much all the stuff that we said in there is like common knowledge stuff and just our opinions on the game and everything. So I really enjoyed it, had a ton of fun talking about it. I can't wait for Derek to actually finish the game so I can like, nobody that I know has finished the game yet. So I'm over here like sitting on an island all by myself. Like, sure would be nice to like, you know, talk Spider-Man ending stuff, but nobody's there with me yet. You know, that I guess that's the price you pay for finishing a game before everybody else does, but that's okay. Really enjoyed Spider-Man. Next week we're going to be starting our playthrough on the channel for the live stream, and I think it's going to be a ton of fun. I think you all enjoy it as well. But guys, let me know, are you playing anything right now? Put it down in the comments below so we can enjoy it. Yes, speedrunner. I wished, like, I looked at it. I got an email actually from PlayStation like congratulating me on finishing the game. I remember them doing it for God of War as well. And yeah, let me try to find that email because it said how many hours I had logged to beating it. Dude, PlayStation. Let's see. Congratulations. I almost gave y'all a spoiler there. In an immense 25 hours, you skillfully harnessed the powers of both Spider-Man and conquered evil. Marvel's New York City can breathe a sigh of relief, and talks about all the stuff that I unlocked. Yeah, so 25 hours. I thought it was closer to 30, but yeah, 25 hours, which is still a good chunk of time. When you think about it, like I played, essentially I beat the game within 4 days. So that's not a normal like time frame for me, just because like I normally don't get that kind of time to beat a game. I usually have to spread it out over several weeks to several months and everything. So yeah, it was nice to just get some time to, like, I was sick during that time as well, but get some time and just enjoy a game, which if that was a game to enjoy, that would be the one that I would choose. So hopefully I'll get into some Alan Wake soon. Brandon said I started replaying Red Dead Redemption 2. Nice. Like, that one is like almost too big for me to like go back into and replay. Like, I know there's a lot of stuff that I didn't do, but I did put in a ton of hours into my Red Dead playthrough and everything. So I really did enjoy Red Dead 2, Red Dead Redemption 2, not Red Dead 2. It's a totally different game, Red Dead Revolver. But oh, there he is. He's got a haircut and everything. Guys, look at that haircut. He lost about 10 pounds.
Yeah, it felt like it.
How are you doing,
there's
buddy?
just a few dead squirrels in there. It's okay.
Oh, did you cook them up for dinner?
No, I'm not that. Come on now.
You could have. Yummy. They don't have a lot of fat on them, you know, so probably the meat wouldn't be as good, you know.
Yeah.
Like, you think about ham, think about pig,
Right.
hog, as some people would say.
Beef, the cow.
Yeah, it's like it's got fat, thus it tastes better.
Mm-hmm.
It's not good for you by
No.
any stretch of the imagination.
But
you
you're
know
gonna
what I
eat
mean?
well.
Yeah, exactly. Derek, how you doing, man?
I'm good, man. Just got home from work, so ready to do this thing tonight.
Yeah, man, I'm excited. Did you see my text message?
Yes, I did.
Okay. I didn't know if you had time to check that or not.
I did. I looked over because, Discord always has an update every week, no matter when I check it, it always has an update. So while I was updating, I looked it over.
Okay. Yeah, because that story was almost 6 pages long.
Oh, I didn't realize it was that long. My Lord.
I was scrolling. I was like,
Well, I added, that little subplot for why, the justification for it. So I guess that's why what did it.
Yeah, it was like uber long, and I was like, Derek.
Listen, man. I'm a speed reader, so we would have gotten through that in like 5 minutes. It would have been okay.
You sure about that? You sure about that?
Do not doubt my powers.
I am doubting your powers because, yeah.
Well, and that's why you lost King of the Nerds.
So, are we replacing that? Is that good?
Yeah, we can use that.
Okay, cool. Guys, I just saved y'all like 40 minutes.
Whatever.
I just saved y'all 40 minutes. 100%. Y'all should start go over to patreon.com right now and support us right now. I just saved you 40 hard-earned minutes of us reading.
Guys, spend your money wisely. Like, actually donate to something you believe in, like an anime show, because Zach over here spreading, embellishing a little bit.
That's why I'm saying go over there and support. I saved you 40 minutes. Go over and support so we can get an anime show now that we've saved 40 minutes. Just saying.
He embellishing. He acting like he did y'all a favor.
I did y'all a favor. Y'all don't even know. So, Derek, I got to ask a question.
Oh, Lord.
Have you beat Spider-Man yet?
No, I haven't. But I meant to text you last night, but you were already in bed. I blew through Act 2. I'm already on Act 3, and my Lord, we'll get into that.
Getting turned.
Yeah.
Do you want to talk about that in the show?
We can. I mean, we can talk about whenever. It's up to you. I'll let you be dealer's choice if you want to talk about it now. If you want to talk about it in the show.
Okay. I'm trying to get my mic placement. It's like if it's like right on in front of me, like when I breathe, it's like, but it's like, I don't know. I'm just trying to get the best mic placement. I should just be right here the whole time, and I'll just talk like this. Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Nerd Cave. Welcome to the Nerd Cave.
As he whispers sweet nothings in your ear.
All you ghouls and gal.
Oh, you're about 2 days too late, sir.
It's never too late. It's too late to apologize. Too late. You remember that song? When that was big? You remember that, Derek?
Yeah, no, it was that when it was overplayed.
Oh God, yeah. Let's see when that came out. Man, these keys are like machine guns. Okay, Timbaland, Apologize, featuring One Republic. Guess the year, Derek. Everybody, put your guesses on when Apologize or It's Too Late to Apologize released.
It was big when we were in college, so I'd have to say 2009 or 10. Earlier or later?
Just going. Guys, put your guesses in the old chatteroni. Apologize. Didn't think I'd turn around and say that it's too late to apologize. It's too late. I said it's too late to apologize. It's too late. Too late. Oh. I'm holding on your rope. Got me 10 feet off the ground. I'm hearing what you say, but I just can't make a sound. You tell me that you need me, then you cut me down. But wait, you tell me that you're sorry. Didn't think I'd turn around and say that it's too late to apologize.
Lord have mercy.
This
is what you get, guys.
So it was in the year of our Lord, 2007 when this bad boy came out.
Yeah. When I was still in high school, really?
Yeah.
Jeez Louise.
Now I want to see sales numbers on this bad boy. Let's see sales numbers on Apologize. One Republic. Apologize, which has sold in excesses of 7 million singles worldwide.
Wow.
Now, you also have to think that was around the time where streaming starting to really take off.
Right, because I was gonna say 7 million doesn't seem a lot for as much as they played that.
So, chart performance, Apologize was One Republic's breakout hit. In the United States, Apologize peaked at number 2. Man, it didn't even get number 1.
Wow.
On the Billboard Hot 100 for 4 non-consecutive weeks. It's been 11 weeks at number 3 and 25 weeks inside the top 10, and peaked at number 3 for 10 weeks on the Hot 100 airplay. I don't even know what that is. It became only the 10th song to sell over 5 million by May 2011 in the US. As of February 2014, it has sold. So we already know that it's sold more than that.
Right.
Let's see. I'm going to go to the old Spotify and see how many plays it's got on Spotify.
Huh.
Okay. Let's see. Apologize. Whoa. That's a lot. People like the song, Derek.
I mean, I would hope so,
Give me a guess on how many plays on the old Spotify it has.
Ooh, is it at least in triple digits? Like the first set of numbers?
Oh yeah. I'm
gonna go out on a limb and say 300 million.
More.
500.
More.
800.
A little bit less than that.
750.
A little bit less than that.
600.
709,372,859 plays just on Spotify. I looked it up on YouTube as well.
Yeah.
The official music video has 605 million views.
Woof.
The One Republic channel in itself, just the song, 15 million. And then the lyric video by All Lyrics is 14 million views. So this song, quite popular, Derek.
I was just gonna say, there's a
Quite
lot of people
popular.
who apologized way too late.
Yeah, I know. It's like it's like It's Too Late, Baby by Carole King. It's too late, baby. No, it's too late. Na, 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 na. You know that song, Derek?
Vaguely.
Vaguely. Do you know who Carole King is?
I've heard Carole King, yes.
Yeah.
Don't ask me to name any of her other tunes, but
Yeah.
I've heard the name.
Have you ever watched the show Gilmore Girls?
No. I know of it. I've never watched an episode.
Missing a heck of a show, bro. That's so good. But the theme song is by Carole King as well. We're on a music thing, but Carole King, her big album, she wrote many albums. She's written for many people, but Tapestry is her first album. I'm looking it up so I can give you a few of the songs on there. Okay, I Feel the Earth Move.
Okay.
So Far Away. It's Too Late. Just sung that to you. Home Again. Beautiful. Way Over Yonder. You've Got a Friend. You know that song?
I mean, I know You've Got a Friend in Me from Toy Story.
Do I? Do you? Yeah. This released in 1971. Second studio album, sorry. Let's see. It's Too Late and I Feel the Earth Move spent 5 weeks at #1 on both the Billboard Hot 100 and the Easy Listening charts. Tapestry has been certified 14 times platinum. 14 times platinum. Not gold, platinum. 14 times, my friend. 14 times.
Wow. Crazy.
By the recording industry in the U.S. and has sold an estimate of 30 million copies worldwide, making it one of the best-selling albums of all time. In 2000, it ranked 74th in some chart, blah, 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 and Tapestry won 4 Grammy Awards, including Album of the Year, Song of the Year, and Record of the Year. Yeah.
Ridiculous. So what you're saying is she's a powerhouse.
Yeah. And Amy's like, she's no more than more than Gilmore Girls. She wrote Natural Woman and other songs that Aretha Franklin sang. You know Natural Woman.
Oh yeah. You make me feel like a natural woman.
Didn't know I made you feel that way.
Not you.
Somebody does.
I have to tell that reminds me, I have to tell a funny story.
All right, hit me with it.
So, got a couch, right?
Yeah.
And,
I thought you were going to say you got a cow. And I killed the music.
You know.
All right, Derek, hit me with it.
So, got a couch on Sunday. Was moving into my apartment, and my brother and my mom are with me, and got to meet one of my neighbors that lives above me. Her name's Celeste. She's an older lady, been there for 6 years. And, she introduced herself. We said hi, whatever. And then she's like, and she looks behind me. And she's like, oh, no, am I saying, I forget what she said, but she was talking to my mother, and my brother was standing in front of her. She thought she was talking to him. And he says, oh yeah. And Celeste is like, no, not you, her behind you. She's like, you chop liver, get out my way. You don't live here. I want to talk to the mother.
Ooh, you got you a sassy one.
I do, but I love it.
So, are you on the bottom floor?
I am.
Good, because Derek, I'm gonna just call you out right here. If the roles were reversed and you were on the top floor and Celeste was on the bottom floor, she would utterly hate you. Okay?
Probably. Stop it. I know where you're going.
Because Derek, guys, I'm gonna be 1000% honest. Derek does not know how to walk softly. He could never be a ninja. Okay? Never can be a ninja. Everything is just power walking. It's just step after step, all the force, all the weight, every step. So he came over to our apartment when we were early on in Gulf Breeze, and he comes into the house, and I just start feeling the ground shake, and just boom, 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 boom. And I'm like, what is going on? And then I look, and Derek's walking around, and he is just Clydesdale, just trying to kick a hole through the floor. And the next day, our little old lady that lived below us, she's like, she looked at Derek and she was like, she's like,
are you the one stomping around up there?
It's good stuff. Good stuff. Why are you roasting the man? I'm just being the honest.
Yeah, I'm about to say this is a true story.
100%.
Lord, I'll say you the one stomping up there. She do.
Nan was a busybody, 100% looking for things to complain about, but she wasn't wrong about that one. I'm just saying.
You know what's funny, and it may be the linoleum floors that Publix uses, right? But you know, I've snuck, and of course, you know, we're a busier store, or like it's busy, so it's easier. And you know, the shoes I wear kind of are more quiet, help me stay quieter. But you know, I've snuck up on so many people that don't expect it. It's like, oh, and I'm like, I feel bad. I'm like, that wasn't my intention to scare you. I'm sorry. So
maybe that experience like scarred you, and
probably
you started walking around softer, you know,
gentle foot.
Yeah, I don't know. Dan, what's up, my man? Hope you're doing well today. Know how you are. What is Derek? Why do you keep changing the music?
I have no control. I am like a couple hours away from you, sir. I have no control over that.
Your fault.
Sure.
It is 100% your fault.
Maybe you should stop letting Skynet control your machines.
At least it shortens up a document a little bit.
Oh, Lord.
I'm feeling good, Derek. I'm feeling good. So I hope you know that. I'm feeling feisty.
Is it because of the cool weather?
Yes. I feel rejuvenated. Though they keep the freaking office like a toaster oven, dude. It's like it dipped below 75 degrees, and they're like, you gotta turn the heat on. Turn the heat on. And I'm like,
72, it's too cold in here.
I'm like, y'all just need to chill out. It's not that cold outside. Yeah. And like my studio is doubly hot. Like whatever the temperature is, it's like, if it's cold, it's twice as cold. If it's hot, it's twice as hot. So I'm in there like trying to record some stuff for work, and I'm like starting to sweat. I'm like, I was like,
Lord,
I gotta hurry up because I can't take this. Can't take this. So, but yeah, guys, y'all should go check out our review of Spider-Man. Spoiler free. So if you're
mostly spoiler free, there is a few slip ups here and there, but mostly spoiler free.
I took a lot of that out.
Okay, good.
Yeah. Like when you really come down to it, are they spoilers?
Is it really a spoiler?
Are they spoilers?
I mean, it's all subjective. Like
it is.
There was a video by Sylvanus where it's like he did a thing. It was like a satire video about like how people take spoilers too seriously. Where it was just like he was from the future and he's like, I don't want to know, and the guy was like, I don't want to know that I lived that long. Like, that's a spoiler. You spoiled my life. And it's like, I'm just like, people do take it too far, though.
Yeah, they do. But we kept it very spoiler free. So if you are looking forward to playing it or enjoying the story, because we're going to start playing it next week on the channel, you'll be able to experience that with us without any things. But enjoyed having Bo from Bo Newz Gaming. I'm over here and trying not to die. Kevin's
what you get for roasting me?
Kevin's over here. It's his presence.
His force choking you.
Yep. We'll fire him later. That'll be okay.
Oh, I thought it was already done.
You know, he's like the 7-year itch. You know what I mean? He's like, can't do his job, won't go away.
What good is he?
Yeah. Anyway, go check out Bo Knows Gaming. Look him up on YouTube. Go give him a subscribe. He's doing a lot of good stuff over on his channel, but enjoyed having him on and us discussing. It was a ton of fun. So go check that out. Derek, are you ready to get into this bad boy?
Let's do it.
Okay, cool. So guys, how this is going to work, we're going to be talking about all the stuff that has happened this week in video game news. So be here. We want to hear your comments. We want to hear your thoughts. We want all of those good things in the comments, because when we get to the discussion part, after we read a little bit of an article or whatever to set up what has actually happened, we want to know your thoughts. So as the article is being read, it's a great time to put your thoughts in the chat. So when we discuss it, we can actually bring your thoughts in to what we're talking about as well. So you get a little shout out, you get a little love, you get a little love. You know what I mean, Derek? I don't know who doesn't like love. You know what I mean?
Hateful people.
Even villains want love. Darth Vader, what does he want? He wants Padme. He wants
the redeemable villains do. The ones that just want to see the world burn don't.
Like name one.
Joker.
Still, he wants the love of Batman.
Is it love or is it just attention?
In a way, kind of love.
I guess.
The weird love, but try again. Try again, Derek. Let's see what you can come up with.
Tomura Shigaraki.
He wanted love.
Yeah.
And he didn't get it. That's why he turned out the way he is.
Right.
So technically,
All for One.
And the reason All for One was able to like twist him is with love and attention.
Yeah, all right. But now what about All for One though?
Oh, he loves himself.
I don't know. Self-love is a whole different thing though, because that's more ego, in my opinion.
To a degree, yeah.
So.
To a degree, yeah. All right, Derek, let's kick this pig. Guys, we're ready. We're excited. We're going to reintroduce ourselves. All that good stuff. Oh, here we go. 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 Here we go now. Guys, thank y'all for hitting the like button. It's much appreciated. Much appreciated. And here we go. Starting in 3, 2, 1. This week in gaming, Bungie execs are a bunch of liars. More acquisitions and mergers are to come, and PlayStation's live service games potentially dead. This is the NerdCave News, and I, one of your hosts, Zach Dykes, joined by, in the back, an Italian restaurant. There's a feared mobster with a reputation that sends shivers down spine, who operates his shady dealing. His collection of black market goods is vast and valuable. His contraband, Beanie Babies of all shapes and sizes, the most sought after and rarest Beanie Babies in the world. He is Tony, the Collector Ricci.
You know, but thinking about, because I almost sneered at that, because it's like Beanie Babies, really, but they are, if you find rare ones, they do go for a nice price. So I do accept this.
He accepts it. Tony, the Collector Ricci, what does this get placed on the list of names?
Again, that top 10 just gets stronger every week. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, it's like one for all. You know what I mean? It's just got
right. The more quirks he gets, the stronger he gets.
You know what I mean?
Because we got Inspector Percival Ravenscroft, Zephyr Zahar the Genie, Hiroshi McSlice and Dice Takashi, Victor Van Housen the Vaudevillian Vampire, Sarah Solthura the Secret Keeper, Max Steelheart Champion of the World, Combat Master Vexar Scarata, Talolakan the Sun God King, Thorod Rygason the Warrior King, and Galrinth, Bringer of Death.
Good names. All
it is. Because you look below Ravenscroft, and there's King Darkheart, then
Mhm.
General Malachar Voss, Sheriff Steelheart, Ringmaster Mortimer Nightshade, and Zane Valen.
Does it break the top 10?
No, I don't
I
think
don't.
it does.
Okay. Okay. All right.
I'm gonna put it as my new number 13, right below General Malachar Voss.
Amy racking up dubs, y'all. Amy racking up dubs.
She really do though. Like
Challengers are welcomed. Y'all know what I mean? Challengers are welcomed. Y'all need to come with your A game. See if you can defeat Amy. Amy is like the mountain off of Game of Thrones. She
right.
like Murdoch came in and he was like old Mando, you know what I mean, when he was on
Yeah.
Game of Thrones, and he's like, I got you, and then just eyes are done, you're dead, and then, you know what I mean? That's how Amy.
Right.
Everybody's like, that's a very interesting way of painting your wife.
Yeah.
So come on, you cowards! I'm calling you out
And then
right now.
and she's nothing but a sweetheart though. That's the thing.
Yeah, come on, you cowards! Put your names in the list.
You know, looking back at the top 5,
Mm-hmm.
Combat Master Vexar Scarada was a pretty early on name, and it's still holding pat at number 4. Like, very impressive.
Yeah, that was a Murdoch name. So
Yeah,
that's number 4. So Amy's got the top 3 and
yeah,
number
she
5.
does, and 4 of the top 5.
Yeah, yeah. Tony the Collector Ricci, we're glad to have you here because this episode is brought to you by the Epic Game Store, where you can support us by using creator code NerdCave at checkout on any of your purchase. You might want some of them sweet V-Bucks. You might want to get some Rocket League cars, some Fortnite skins. You might want to even buy some of those games that are on the Epic Game Store. All of it is able to support us. We get a little percentage, and it costs you nothing extra. So take from Epic's pocket, put it in our pocket. It helps us out here at the show and keeps the lights on and the mics on. Guys, we're also supported by Coffee Brain Coffee and our wonderful patrons, but more about that later. Amy says none can defeat me. I agree.
That's fair.
I agree. I'm just saying it. I will be Amy's mouthpiece here. Come on, you bunch of cowards. Do it. Do it.
I do believe that's one of my phrases too. Do it, you cowards.
Yeah. Put your name on the list. See how you rank.
You never know unless you try.
Now, I will say Derek's ranking is a little skewed.
Here we go. I mean, it's my name. Like, how are you going to say it's skewed when it's about me? Like, you would skew it too if it was about you. Don't even at me, son.
It's skewed. It's skewed.
Everyone would skew it if it was about them. Don't act like I'm the outlier here.
You're the problem, Derek. You know, Taylor wrote a song recently. And I think it fits well with you. It's me. Hi, I'm the problem. It's me. And she's clearly talking about you, Derek.
Sure, because she definitely knows me so well. We've definitely had so many interactions before. I'm one of her ex. No, I'm not really.
Well, Derek, she does know you because me and her have talked extensively. So she knows all about you. And,
No, I'm sure.
Yeah. So she took all my pains and my hurts over the years and wrote a song about you.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. Now, when is she going to write your song, the song to me about you?
Oh, yeah. King of My Heart. She already wrote that one.
Oh, my Lord.
King of My
Lord.
Heart.
Now who has a skewed vision? Like, now who's skewed? Let's be honest here. Keep it a buck.
So, Derek, we are working on 3 weeks into Spider-Man being out in the wild, swinging through old New York.
Yeah.
And I'm curious. Zach was a double for her. Yeah. I didn't tell you about this, but I did do 3 shows for Taylor's Eras tour when she was tired. So
That's very interesting. I'm not. I would go. I have so many questions, but I don't want to know the details, so I'm gonna leave it be. I'm gonna let that dragon rest.
a lot of exercise, a lot of exercise, a lot of tucking.
I'm gonna leave that alone.
Have you seen her outfit? Like, I had to do a lot of exercise to fit in those sparkly suits. Yeah. Guys, go check out our review of Spider-Man on YouTube. Now, Derek, 3 weeks into Spider-Man being out in the wild, what are your thoughts? I know we did a whole episode, but you have now, at least got a little bit further through, like I kind of, when we were having that review, I was like, come on, man. You only played like 10 minutes of this game. And like,
oh, whatever.
How can you? No, I'm just kidding. So, Derek, you played a little bit more. You're in Act 3 now.
Yes.
Thoughts? Update me.
Oh my gosh. All right. So, again, this is not a spoiler if you've at least seen any of the marketing, not trailers, just marketing. So you get the black suit, at the end of Act 1, and then the whole of Act 2 is like that development, like that, Peter has with that. And there were so many twists and turns. Like the whole Act 2 was just such an emotional roller coaster for both Peter and Miles. Like their journeys, like there were so many questions, there were so many things I'm like that I could see, like that certain points were happening, like with Miles' story and Peter's story. And I'm like, oh, this is how they're going to do it, or this is who is going to get the suit after Peter yanks it off. And then it ended up being not the way. And I'm like, oh, okay, this is still so much better. Like it's what I kind of peased, like, because I was like, all right, who's gonna end up being Venom? You know what I mean?
Yep.
And I went down a list because it could be this person, it could be this person, or it could be this person. And like is right at the 11th hour. I'm just like, yep, I see the signs on the wall. It's gonna be this person.
Yeah.
And then with Miles, there was like that whole interaction with this villain that he has a relationship with. I was like, oh, is this going to create a dynamic between him and Peter? Because this is happening on his side during Act 2, and it didn't, but it was like, it's so much better for Miles' story arc to go this route. And I'm just like, man, this is like, I felt so many things happening during this whole thing. Like, and once again, the certain person that you get to play as in certain sections is OP. Just gonna say that. Like, my gosh, if they fought Thanos, he wouldn't have gotten all of 6 Infinity Stones. Just saying. But to end Act 2 the way that they did, like my jaw almost hit the floor because the way it happened, I'm like, oh, is this gonna happen? Like, is this what are we about to play as this person? And sure enough, and I'm like, let's go. Like and I'm like just going through the level, but the way it ended, like the way Kraven's story rounded off in Act 2, my jaw hit the floor because I'm like, not only did they do it, the way they did it was just like, wow, just wow. And I'm like, bro, what do they have in store for Act 3? I know it's not many missions in Act 3 because I kind of looked ahead to see like the mission breakdown for each act, and I'm like, because it's kind of similar to Spider-Man 1. Like Act 1 was like the build up, Act 2 was like the meat of the story, and Act 3 was just like the epilogue, like trying to get through it, beat the final boss, and get to it. And this is following a similar pattern, but it's like, man, if Act 3 can follow Act 2, game's gonna be great.
Yeah, I think Act 3 is really strong. Act 2, like you said, is the meat and potatoes, but that tiramisu at the end, you know what I mean?
Oh my gosh, dude! Like I'm still thinking about it. Like my jaw was agape for a good like almost 5 minutes. Like I wish they really did it.
Me. I wish she would have texted me so I could.
I know, but this was like 10:30 at night. I'm like, he ain't up.
You don't know that. You didn't know that, but dude, I definitely want to talk more and spoiler filled about all the good stuff, but I am glad that you're experiencing the story, and you can definitely see why I gave the game a 5 out of 5
Oh,
after
for
beating
sure.
it.
Like if Act 2 was just the game by itself, like that would have definitely been that would have been game of the year contender bar none. That would have been the game of the year.
Yeah, so I'm excited to see what you think at the end of the game. And guys, you can go check our spoiler-free review out on our YouTube channel. It is great, and you get a sense of what we think about the game, and I'm excited about that. But that is not why we are here tonight for this episode. Let's jump into the gaming discussion. First up, game industry acquisitions and mergers will reportedly increase steadily over the next years.
So the games industry has been one that's always been growing for years, though since the pandemic, it's safe to say it's been booming these last 3. It's currently the largest entertainment industry, and while we think we've seen big acquisitions lately with Microsoft buying Activision Blizzard or Sony buying Bungie, things are only expected to go up from here. That's at least the opinion of Michael Metzger, our partner at investment bank Drakestar, which mainly deals in investing in tech mergers and acquisitions. A report from Axios points out that Drakestar has been tracking acquisitions and mergers being on the rise in recent months. And according to Metzger, quote, based on our discussions with many of the top gaming companies in the last weeks, we expect the deal volume to increase steadily over the next year. Who can say what exactly these mergers and acquisitions will be, but Metzger points to Sony, Take-Two, Tencent, and Savvy Games as the ones who will be making most of these big moves. In one sense, it's potentially an exciting future as these larger publishers could enable smaller teams to deliver projects they wouldn't have been able to do on their own. On the other hand, consolidation leads more often to less variety and greater risk that whenever the parent company decides times are rough and layoffs are needed, that now has an even greater ripple effect. So we are seeing that latter part, you know what I mean? Like all these acquisitions and mergers,
Yeah.
like, sorry, we gotta let you go, trim the fat a little bit. But at the same time, it's crazy to think that it's gonna even increase more. Now, I do think there's a caveat with that they're not saying. I think there will be more acquisitions and mergers over the next year or so, but I do not think, because we kind of alluded to this a couple weeks ago when the Microsoft Activision Blizzard deal finally went through and got approved to happen. I don't think that we'll see one on this scale. I don't want to say ever again, but for a long time. Like Sony could come close, but I don't think they'll get that close. Like they don't have that kind of throw around money that Microsoft does. But even Microsoft, like yeah, they got the big fish as they say
Yeah.
in their pond. However, that taking them as long, almost 3 years to get it done, I don't think they want to jump through all those hoops again. So I don't think they'll shoot for that big a star again, but I
Yeah.
do think that they'll still buy studios.
Well, I think because of all the antitrust stuff, the monopoly
Mm-hmm.
stuff that is around the Activision Blizzard acquisition, that
Mm-hmm.
Microsoft is now in a position where they might be able to buy AA to indie studios, but they're not going to be able to buy something that is on necessarily the AAA side of things. In my
Correct.
opinion,
Yeah.
where they might be able to buy, trying to think who's out there by themselves at this point.
I know it's like everyone owns everyone at this point.
Like Baldur's Gate 3 people, I think they might be
Yeah.
able to buy them.
Larian Studios, I
Yeah,
think it
like
is.
I think that might be the only, like they couldn't buy an EA, they couldn't buy Ubisoft, they
No.
couldn't buy Capcom,
No.
anything like that, because that would they PlayStation would really have a leg to stand on this time.
Oh yeah.
With all of this. Now, PlayStation, with all the stuff that we're going to talk about next,
Mm-hmm.
in the show, not next, but in the show, I think is really having to re-examine a lot of things. And
Correct.
we have seen several layoffs within the PlayStation ecosystem. And we've also
Mm-hmm.
seen, studios being closed down this year from PlayStation
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
with Pixel Opus. And I don't think PlayStation is necessarily in the, they could do it. They could do it, but it would not look great for them to be laying off all these people and then go
Mm-hmm.
buy another developer.
Right, correct. About to say because it would just be a bad look because it's like it'd be a slap into the face of especially to the studios they've homegrown. You know what I mean? It's like, what are we, chop liver? Like we had these beautiful visions. We made you money on this game, and you decide to shut us down and then go to the prom with the cheerleader.
Yeah, exactly. And so that's why I don't think that they're necessarily a candidate at the moment. Take Two, totally could see that.
Oh
Could
yeah.
see Tencent doing more stuff. Savvy Games, which I was like, what is that? I was like, I couldn't remember what Savvy Games was, but that is the Saudi Arabia group that is in the games industry. That
Got you.
they've been investing and buying in a lot of studios,
Hmm.
smaller studios and everything. And I definitely like, because I think Savvy Games was the Saudi Arabia investment that Embracer Group was hoping for, that $2 billion that fell through.
Hmm.
So I definitely could see Savvy being they've gotten way more capital to throw around and everything.
Right.
So I definitely feel like Take Two, Tencent, and Savvy is the better ones to be able to do stuff. But I think Sony right now, they are kind of having to figure out what in the world's going on,
Yeah.
because there's a lot of stuff that is not right now. So,
Correct.
but like, I want to see more thoughtful acquisitions. I don't even
Hmm.
really want to see more acquisitions. Let me just be
Yeah.
honest.
I want. Yeah. I'm about to say I do agree with that sentiment. Like, make it to where it makes sense for you business wise, like not so much like, yeah, financial wise it should matter, but business sense, like for what you're wanting your team and your studios to do going forward, it needs to make sense business wise. Now I know
Yeah.
we'll get into it. You kind of led into it with the intro here about them potentially getting rid of their games as a service model for Sony, but like, let's just say hypothetical that doesn't happen and they do push this games as a service. You want to acquire a studio that is, neck deep into a games of service type game making, and not only make games for your portfolio, but help other studios that are struggling, aka Naughty Dog, and help them break down the walls and figure it out.
Well, isn't that Bungie? That was the whole reason they
Supposed to
bought.
be it's supposed to be Bungie. I don't
Yeah.
know, with all this mess they may,
Yeah.
but we'll get into that later.
Yeah, we'll get into that later. But at this point, it's like we see all of these acquisitions. We see a lot of these acquisitions. Embracer Group, they're closing studios and laying people off. It's
Hmm.
like, I don't want to see more studios close because of poor management of either people or funds. And that's
Right.
what we're seeing. We're seeing that across the board from all of these acquisitions, and it really, really stinks. There's a number, and we'll talk more about layoffs later. But from throughout the whole year, there have been over 6,000 game developers let off this year,
Woof.
and
Woof.
majority of that has been in August, September, and October.
Hence why we've been talking about it so much recently.
Yeah, but 6,000 people.
Yeah.
That is a
In
lot of
three
people.
months.
And it's like, okay, the other thing, and we're not even talking about layoffs right this second, but the other thing is this year, games have seen like a 7% increase in revenue across the board.
Yep.
And when that comes down to is the shareholders and the boards and all of that, they don't want to see their profit margins going down because they see, oh, there's all this retention stuff. There's, inflation and all of that. So
Hmm.
we've got to cut employees to be able to keep our numbers going up.
Yeah. We don't want to sell our third vacation home, so we need to
Yeah.
fire you so we can keep it.
And it goes back to, thinking of Nintendo during the Wii U era when it was really, really bad.
Correct.
Really, really bad. What did the CEO do during that time? Derek, did he lay off a bunch of people in Nintendo?
No.
What did he do, Derek?
He hired more people to help make great games.
Yeah, he also took a huge pay cut.
Ah, yeah, I forgot about that.
He took a huge pay cut to be able to keep people on. You don't see Bobby Kotick doing that. That dude is like the roach that will not go away. But it's
Well,
like,
January 1st, it looks like he will.
I'm telling you, he's going to Netflix.
I know.
But why I'm saying all of that is all of these, C-level people and the investors and all of that, they're not willing to think of people. They're thinking about their pocketbook. They're thinking about the bottom line. And yes, it's a business. And yes, you have to make money. But when you see a 7% increase in your revenue this year alone, because I heard kind of funny talking about this. It's hard to say that this is the best year in gaming when 6,000 developers, more than 6,000 developers have been let go. It's really difficult.
This is the proverbial brownie in the punch bowl. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Amy says that's a crazy number. I don't understand it. And it's hard to quantify. It's like you're making more money. Why are you getting rid of these hardworking people that are the only reason why you're making more money?
But greedy be greedy.
We'll rant about that after this story. So this one was pretty interesting. Cliff Blazinski, if y'all remember Cliffy B, believes Gears of War needs a reboot like God of War had.
So this is definitely interesting because, my two of my favorite games have the same initials, GOW, GAO. So speaking to comic book, the Gears co-creator turned comic book scribe called on Xbox boss Phil Spencer to give him a ring for a spot of consultancy should Microsoft greenlight such a project. Quote, I believe Gears needs a little bit of a reboot like God of War had, and I've always said Phil Spencer has my number. I'm happy to consult. Gears of War's latest mainline release was 2019's Gears 5, although turn-based tactics spin-off game Gears Tactics launched a year later in 2020. However, apart from an Xbox Series X and S update for Gears 5, we haven't heard from the franchise in years. The God of War reboot Blazinski referred to relates to 2018's God of War, developed by Santa Monica. This was a significant and highly successful reimagining of the action game series with big gameplay changes and an over-the-shoulder camera perspective and a shift in setting. God of War spawned a sequel, Ragnarok, which became one of PlayStation's fastest-selling games of all time. Elsewhere in the same interview, Blazinski was asked about movie director Zack Snyder, who in August expressed interest in making a Gears of War movie. Quote, to be frank, I think Zack Snyder is an amazing director when he is working with existing IP. Before giving wrestler turned actor Dave Bautista his seal of approval for playing Gears protagonist Marcus Phoenix. Quote, Dave Bautista, man, the dude dressed up in Gears armor online. He's proven his range from the last Blade Runner movie through to him playing Drax, the Destroyer, and all that. In the Knock at the Cabin, he's got a great range. I think he'd be perfect for it. He's got the body type, and once again, I'm happy to give my 2 cents and consult, but the biggest thing I hope for is that it has heart. Netflix's Gears of War movie was first officially unveiled in 2022, in addition to an adult animated series based on the game. The last we heard about it was that John Spates, best known for 2016's Doctor Strange and 2021's Dune, was on board to write the script, but still hasn't heard about who could direct the adaptation. With Snyder already in the Netflix ecosystem thanks to Rebel Moon, we can't help but speculate if he's eyeing that project. Still, Rebel Moon will likely keep him busy for a while with his plans to turn it into a franchise for Netflix. So this is interesting, right? Like, the main thing is the game here. Now, my only one concern is, like, God of War wrapped up its original, like, I know it had other, like, branching spin-off games that kind of filled in the gaps here and there, but the original trilogy, if you will, wrapped up that story before they did a quote-unquote reboot. Now, it was a sequel boot, if you want to get technical, because it did continue the adventures. It just kind of rebooted what the game, what the franchise is. So, Gears 5, like, for all intents and purposes, because I never did my one of my many sins is that I never finished the story for Gears 5. So you can more attest to this. Did Gears 5 didn't wrap up the story, right? Like, of the current trilogy. Like, if this was like if the first trilogy of Gears was episodes 4 through 6 of Star Wars, Gears 4 and 5 was the sequels, like episodes 7, 8, and 9. So if I'm correct, 5 didn't fully wrap up the story, so there's technically one more in the series, correct?
Yeah, there is one more, at least in this setting, and I really want it because Gears 5, dude, is on par with Gears 2 storytelling.
Wow, good.
Yeah, that's why I'm like, you need to finish this game. I've been telling you this for years. But I would love to see. I want them to finish the story. I don't want a reboot right now. Like, let's finish the
Correct.
story, and then let's figure out a
Where you want to
way.
go from here.
Yeah, yeah. It's like, okay, yeah, we could reboot this. We could, because you already have Marcus Phoenix, Cole, and Baird in Gears 4 and 5.
Hmm.
We see
Right.
those in there. And yes, they're older and everything, but it is a cool nostalgia factor. It's like you're getting to see these heroes back in action, but you're not playing with them. I don't know if I necessarily want it to go to, okay, we're back at Gears 1. Like, we're starting all over. It would be awesome to get like the Pendulum Wars. Like,
Hmm.
go
Yeah.
way before the locusts even appear. The Pendulum Wars have some of the coolest political intrigue to these
Hmm.
crazy missions, and it would set up a very different story. You know, you're not
Hmm.
finding these locusts, this like earth-ending event, but the toll that this war had on the planet, on Sarah,
Hmm.
is so extreme that that's why the locusts even came about, because they're trying to get the their essentially their fuel and everything.
Hmm.
So, dude, this, I think that's the play here. And
Right.
then you could go into, you know, the original Gears of War again from there.
Right.
But
For sure.
I think going back to the beginning is not the play here. Just like God of War 2018 was not a emulsion. There we go. 2018 God of War was not a, oh, we're just rebooting it. It was
Right.
a continuation of the story. So that's
Right.
what I want. I want something to live in that world, and it'd be nice not to just have locust and locust variants all the time. It would
Correct.
be something different.
Right. And I wholeheartedly agree, because that it got me thinking. I'm like, now, granted, had they made this decision after Gears 4, because let's all be honest, like, while Gears of 4 had its moments, it didn't really like make a good first impression for what the coalition could do with Gears of War, as you know, as a story. Now 5 turned it around immensely.
Oh
Now,
yeah.
had it faltered, or if they had just made this decision to pivot after 4, I would be okay with it, because it's like, all right, you didn't make you took a first crack at Gears, didn't do it, and then you took a second crack if 5 had failed, and you didn't live up to it. So I would think it would be a good time to just reset it and try again.
Yeah.
But because you ended 5 so with such high anticipation, I think it would be a disservice to try and reboot it right after that anticipation, or like do a different style. Um,
Yeah.
but I wholeheartedly agree. Like, after you finish up this current trilogy, go have fun. It's the world is the oyster. Just go have fun. Make the game, like, just play around with the story, play around with the universe. You've got extended lore just like Halo does. Like, play around with it, but except don't be like 343 and try to think you're smarter than you actually are to the fans.
Yeah. 100%. And to the lore side of things, Karen Travis's books that expanded,
Hmm.
like, a lot of her stuff takes place in the Pendulum Wars.
Yeah.
Amazing. I know there's comics and everything, but there's like 4 to 5 books that are just perfect, and they're
Mm.
great, and they take place with the cast that we know from the games and everything. And,
Mm.
you know, to Michael's point here, Batista would be perfect for Marcus. I think Batista would be really good. I am very
Yeah.
curious how Batista is going to act in the second Dune movie, because I know he'll be more
Fair.
involved in it and everything.
Hmm.
I've enjoyed him as Drax and everything, and I think he's a good actor. I just, like, Marcus is very like, well, even Drax is pinned down on things, but he's not
Yeah.
as fun. Marcus is not a fun character.
Yeah.
He's this gruff, like,
But that world is gritty. Like,
yeah,
you can only have so much fun, though, to be fair.
yeah, exactly. Well, you got Coltrane.
I mean, yeah, he's comic relief. I'll say he
Yeah,
brings the lighthearted mood to it. But he'd be the only one body type that would. Like I agree with Mike too. Like, you can't do anyone now. Of course, when you do these over bloated physiques in Gears
yeah,
of War, it's going to be hard for any actor to fill those shoes. But Batista would be the exception to the rule. So
yeah,
I do agree. I think he's already kind of like Blazinski said, he's already donned the armor. He's done like commercials as Marcus
Yep.
Phoenix. So I think it would be a disservice. Like he's a skin in Gears 5, I want to say, or
Hmm.
one of the Gears games. So I think it would be a disservice to at least not give him a crack at
Yeah.
it. But that's a whole nother thing for another day.
Yeah. He's got to have the soul patch. That's the only way this is going to work.
Yeah, you're right. And I mean, he
And he'd be
early
right.
WWE days, he did
He
have the
did.
soul
Yep.
patch.
Yep. Coltrane runs on whole grade. Like I think it was Gears 2, like the trash talk that Cole
Oh,
does
yeah.
in the like Hive or whatever, and he's like on
Mhm.
the microphone, he's just like going off. That's like one of the best moments in the whole game, because
Yeah.
I think Coltrane doesn't just run on whole grain. I think it also runs on some coffee brand coffee. You can get some quality coffee with no gimmicks and no politics. They have nearly 4,000 verified reviews, and most of those are 5 out of 5. They've got 12 coffee blends, 12 organic teas, 3 hot cocoa flavors. And if you like cold brew, you like doing all that swishy swashy stuff with your beakers and all that, you know, that nerd stuff, that coffee nerd stuff, they got that. And if you just like it simple and you just pop a K cup in your Keurig, they got that as well. Amy got the chai tea. She loved it. She got the medium roast coffee. She loved that. We got to order some more, but they got a ton of cool things. It's getting colder outside, Derek. It's getting colder.
Mhm.
You know what's better than some, you know, just regular hot cocoa?
What is that?
Marshmallow hot cocoa.
You right.
Marshmallow hot cocoa. Guys, they've got all these awesome stuff. Some blueberry cobbler flavored coffee. Like, that just makes me want to drink coffee. Makes me want to
You
drink
right.
coffee. Now, what's awesome, just like Coltrane, he's always fresh. He's not recycling
right.
lines. He's not just doing the old thing. Freshness is guaranteed because when you order, this stuff is made to order. They roast the beans right then and there. It ain't this old stale stuff. It ain't bared. It ain't bared. You know what I mean? Bared is stale. Bared is stale. You know what I mean? So get your coffee brand coffee. Elevate your coffee experience today. Get on the cold train. People all around the world, join in. Use code NerdCave at checkout or the link in the description below to get 5% off your order today. And Amy said it's good. Get your coffee, tea, and cocoa.
Before you transition to the next news story, speaking of Gears, when do you think we're going to see Gears 6? Like, realistically, do you think we get a teaser at Game Awards, or is that going to be a next year thing?
Dude, if they would stop making Coalition fix everybody's crap and actually
That's
work on
also
a game,
fair.
then we would probably already had it.
Also fair. Because,
so,
you know, as I say, it was 2019. So it was like, that's been 4 years ago. So I say we're long overdue for a Gears game.
yeah, it's like every time we turn around, Coalition is fixing someone's crap in the Xbox ecosystem. So it's like, I'm hoping
Yeah.
and praying that we finally get it maybe 2024, because that's a long time. 2019 to
Yeah.
2024. Like, that's a pretty big gap. So
Yeah.
only time will tell, Derek. But I hope it's sooner than later. Let's move on to some upsetting PlayStation news. This happened earlier this week, and we've got some updates and everything. But Bungie has been hit with layoffs just 15 months after the PlayStation acquisition.
So Destiny 2 developer Bungie, acquired by PlayStation for $3.6 billion with a B in 2022, recently laid off approximately 100 employees, making a significant move just 15 months after the acquisition. The layoffs were attributed to the underperformance of Destiny 2 over the past year and lower than expected pre-orders for this upcoming expansion, The Final Shape. Employees had reportedly raised concerns about the game's declining player sentiment and sought changes to reinvigorate the player base. Bungie CEO P. Parsons accepted responsibility for the layoffs and acknowledged that the company had, quote, kept the right people to continue working on Destiny 2. In an internal town hall meeting addressing a Monday round of layoffs that impacted multiple departments, Bungie CEO Pete Parsons allegedly told remaining employees that the company had kept, quote, the right people to continue work on Destiny 2. Speaking to multiple current and recently laid off employees, IGN had confirmed reports that Bungie took responsibility for the layoffs rather than laying them at the feet of parent company Sony. Parsons told employees that the layoffs were largely due to underperformance of Destiny 2 over the past year, as well as lower than expected pre orders for the final shape. Employees were also told that Destiny 2 player sentiment was at an all time low. Sources tell IGN that this issue had been flagged to leadership repeatedly for months prior to the layoffs, with employees begging for necessary changes to win players back. Multiple employees expressed frustration about layoffs, saying they felt that the decisions leading to the company's apparent money struggles were out of their hands, and that those who were laid off were being punished for a problem they largely did not cause. Quote, it's definitely weird being the one who is laid off based off the decisions and performances of people in departments you're not involved with. One employee told IGN quote, being deemed expendable hurts. Additionally, IGN has been told that a noticeable number of players or employees had been dismissed from the QA team in the weeks and months leading up to yesterday's layoffs. While the exact number is unknown, the number of departures over time were notable, though, enough that the company's head of QA sent an email around to staff members addressing the situation. IGN has reviewed the email, which claimed the dismissals, quote, were not layoffs and not a result of cost cutting in any way, adding that, quote, if we ever did layoffs, we would be very upfront about it. Now, what this doesn't say that I added in was, of course, they did delay the final shape. It got pushed from February to June supposedly, and
Mhm.
Marathon, while never had an actual release year, was internally delayed supposedly into 2025.
So to Marathon, real quick,
Mm-hmm.
they did a play test with a bunch of Tarkov players
Yeah.
because it's apparently very similar to it.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and they asked like how many of you would play this game if it released today. No one said that they would.
Wow.
Yeah. So
Woof.
I feel like Bungie is making decisions because they see the writing on the wall. They're
Mm-hmm.
trying to cut fat, whatever that means.
Yeah.
And, they're not layoffs as a result of cutting any, cost cutting. It is.
Right.
That's just corporate
It
speak.
is.
That's lies. No company's
Yep.
like, yeah, we're laying people off. No, it's we had to scale back because of the trying times or whatever the crap they're going to say. But like not Pete Hines, what is Parsons?
Parsons.
Like, oh, we lost a lot of great people today. If you have any open spots, you should hire them. It's like you should have never fired them.
Right.
My
And then it's like a slap in the face because you go on to say that you kept the right people, and it's like, so why are you going to praise the people that they were
Yeah.
say they were great and that you should hire them when you said, oh well, we have to lay you off, but we kept the right people? It's like, bro, that's a backhanded compliment.
Yeah. And Michael Salvatore, the composer for most of the Destiny music,
Mm-hmm.
he was also part of the team for Halo. So he's been with Bungie since the
Yeah.
beginning.
Right.
And there's another guy that also like wrote music with them, Michael McDonald, not Michael McDonald.
Mm.
What is the other dude's name? Um Derek, can you look that up while I talk? The other
Uh.
composer's name. Um both of them are now gone, and majority of the original people that were a part of Bungie are now gone. It's all corporate suits at this point.
Martin O'Donnell.
Martin O'Donnell, thank you. Um, if 343 was smart, they would reach out to both of them and get them on
Mm-hmm.
their team. If I know 343 laid off a bunch of people as well, but I would
Mm-hmm.
be grabbing people from Bungie and getting them on Halo, and I would make Halo what it should be, and I would totally destroy 343. I mean, not 343,
Right.
Bungie.
Bungie.
Like I would make them a laughing stock. That's what I would do if I was Microsoft.
Right.
But this goes back to our conversation earlier in the episode about layoffs. This is another thing. They're laying off more people, and it wasn't from Sony, it was from Bungie itself. But 100 people, that's a lot of people.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like I don't care
Yeah, but say
what size you are. That's a lot of people.
it's just like Epic saying, "Oh, we only laid off like 17% of our workforce." That was couple thousand people, my guy.
Yeah. And 15 months after, like when Bungie got bought, they put out a tweet that, you don't have to worry about anything. No one's going to get laid off from
Mhm.
this purchase. 15 months
So
later.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, not even, and I can't believe that it's not even been 2 full years since been acquired by Sony, and it's like, "Oh, we're not gonna lay you off," with the knife behind in the other hand behind their back, and it's like ready to stab them at a moment's notice. Like that is, ugh, man, what I guess Jim Ryan rubbed off more off on him than we thought.
Yeah. Well, and what was crazy, like a lot of people were tweeting earlier this week that worked for Bungie. Oh, a special meeting just got called. Well, I'll find out if I'm getting fired today or not.
Mm,
And a lot of people were getting fired, and people like a lot of people that are developers, like they're married to other developers. And
yeah,
there was one that was, like, well, earlier, my partner got laid off earlier this year. Now
yeah.
I got laid off. I don't even know if we can afford to keep our house. That's what we're looking at. Like, this is the
Yep.
real thing about it. And it's like, it, like, I know it's not affecting us personally and it's not,
Hmm.
hitting our pocketbook and everything, but it is so
We can
infuriating.
empathize because we
Yeah.
know what it's like to struggle.
Yeah. It's so infuriating to see people getting treated so poorly while these companies are making money hand over fist. And it's like,
Hmm.
do we start talking with our wallets? You know what I mean? It's like,
So yeah.
I don't know.
Well, and of course, like yes, like we can choose not to buy any expansions and microtransactions, but in Destiny, going free to play is a little bit hard to do. You know what I mean? Like it's kind of hard to vote with our wallets. I mean, we could definitely vote with our time.
Well,
So
and they're seeing people like leave in droves. But, if you're a Destiny player, I'm not telling you what to do, but
yeah,
know that people are losing their jobs because people only
yeah,
care about money.
yep.
And
So
I'm glad we had the cat
I
to
know.
kind of, help everyone, our, our what it was support animal
Yeah, emotional support
yeah
animal.
during that but yeah, I like it's we talk about this every week and it is
Mhm.
I hate it. I would rather talk about Microsoft's acquisition of Blizzard and Activision.
Being done.
Well, I would rather talk about that like we were,
Yeah, that's
every week
fair.
than this.
That's
Like,
fair. Talking about Jaw Jack and Jim Ryan being a jerk.
oh, he's still being a jerk. But his come up, it says here on full display, rumor has it Sony is scaling back on its games as service plans. Sega and Bandai Namco are reportedly helping out. And just before you read this,
Mhm.
60% of development at PlayStation has been games as service.
So with Jim Ryan out the door, who knows? Sony is reportedly looking to scale back on its plans for games as a service, despite having invested billions with a B of dollars in the genre. That's at least according to Reset Era member Head on the Block, who claims that companies including Sega and Bandai Namco are helping Sony out, with the former surprisingly or supposedly working on an IP quote that'll wipe the floor. Furthermore, the anonymous user claimed that Sony had, quote, forced a number of first party developers to work on online projects and is now scaling back and is, quote, using third party to catch up on some IPs. One of Sony's major pushes toward games as a service came with its acquisition of Destiny developer Bungie and had previously confirmed plans to release 12 live service games by the fiscal year ending March of 26. Much of these decisions came under leadership from departing PlayStation head Jim Ryan, who reportedly left a number of PlayStation studios feeling, quote, uncomfortable. As such, it is very possible that Sony's decision to scale back on its games as a service plans comes as a result of Ryan's impending departure. Still, nothing has been confirmed at this point, so take these reports with a pinch of salt just to be safe. It would be great, right? Like it would all make sense. This is Jim Ryan's quote unquote baby, or you probably more accurately monster that he tried to impose.
Yeah.
He's leaving, and now all of a sudden there's scuttlebutt that there's maybe that they may backtrack because we've seen after the PlayStation Showcase, which is predominantly live service games,
Yep.
that PlayStation fans were upset, and it did not move the needle one iota.
Yep.
If it wasn't for Spider-Man 2 and some other games, like some third-party developer games, that showcase would have been a disaster.
Yep.
And now that you're seeing like the crown jewel Naughty Dog suffering to try and shoehorn this model into Last of Us, like their most beloved IP, and then like just who knows what other studios that we don't know of are having the same issue. And like you said, 60% of their games are now being made games as a service. The one caveat I have is the shareholders. Like, yes, Jim Ryan is leaving. He won't have a say in what happens going forward. However, some studios probably are further along, and they might have to be forced to release their games.
Yeah.
However, the shareholders are like, we've invested like a development cost. Like, we've invested too much money into this game plan now to just up and dump it out. Like that'll just delay our plans even further. And like now I think they fear of heading into a drought like Microsoft did, rather than staying just like hitting the reset button and getting back to the PlayStation everyone knows and loves. And I mean, again, just like we talked about beginning of the show, Spider-Man 2 is a testament. Like, Insomniac Games can tell amazing stories. Santa Monica can tell amazing stories. Naughty Dog tell amazing stories. Why sour that, batch with the shoehorned in games as a service that has more failures than success stories? So I don't know. It's a catch-22. Like, I would love for this to happen. At the same time, I feel like the shareholders will get in the way and be like, there's too much money invested in it to turn back now and hit the reset button.
Yeah. It would be nice.
Yeah.
I feel like the shareholders will be an issue, but it goes back to the old saying that breaking trust is easy, earning it is
Yep.
hard. And
Correct.
I feel like, that state of play was a very big deterrent for PlayStation fans. And with that, it's like, if this is going to be the way it goes, then,
we don't want it.
Don't want it. Don't play on Xbox or whatever, or play on Steam.
Subscribe to Game Pass.
And for Ryan's departure to be, said, and then you hear all this, it made us uncomfortable. Naughty Dog's game it's dead. Let's not even play around. Like, Last of Us Factions is dead.
Yeah.
I don't know how many we saw a lot of the studios kind of bloat during Jim Ryan's time. And I'm wondering if they brought in a ton of people to just do these games of service stuff and to be able to still do the story stuff, keep that going as well. But a larger majority of the team was working on these, I love it, these gas games. Because they're not even a turd. They're just the fart.
Right. In the wind. And dude, 12 live service games by 2026. Yeah.
Like,
so over the next pretty much 3 years.
Yeah. And like, that's crazy. Okay. The reason why Fortnite has done so well is because it stood out. It was like the first, really, when you get down to it. But you don't see Epic. Yes, they have put out Rumbleverse and, a few other things, but you don't see them putting out something that looks just like Fortnite.
Nope.
You don't see them putting out competitive things to Fortnite. They'll put things that might be live service, like, Rocket League, but it's totally different. Fall Guys, totally different.
Correct.
So
Apex Legends, totally different.
I feel like Sony's like, oh, Warzone, Apex, Fortnite, we've got to look like all of that. And then you get that one that they showed off on the state of play, and it was like, this looks stupid. This looks like a Ubisoft game. And then a Ubisoft game that looks like a worse version of that shows up right after it.
Right.
It's like, this is not the way. This is not the way. Like, this is like Bo-Katan,
Yeah.
not getting the dark saber and then pouting about it
Right.
during season 3 of Mando.
Right.
That's how this is how Sony's been and everything. So I'm glad that they're scaling back. I hope that it all falls through and we get the games that we want and that we deserve, because I will not be playing games of service games from PlayStation.
No.
Ain't happening. I don't even put my time into Overwatch, and I used to love Overwatch. Ain't playing
Yep.
that crap anymore. Don't play
Nope.
Fortnite. Don't play Warzone. Don't play Apex. I don't even play Halo anymore.
Yep.
So,
well, that's a whole different reason.
Well, but it was still live service. So I just want to see that it's done. PlayStation makes money hand over fist because they tell good stories. They're number one for a reason.
Yep.
As SpongeBob once said, he was number one.
Right.
If Sony keeps playing around, they're going to be like They're going to be like Mr. Krabs looking in the graveyard trying to find who's number one, because they ain't it anymore.
Right. Going to rest on their laurels, sit on their 5-gallon bucket.
Yeah. Yes, and now I have a fancy Halo Xbox to play my Starfield on.
Yeah, exactly. So he's playing a space adventure, just not the one that, that is on the Xbox.
Playing Starfield?
No, that's what I'm saying. Like, you're playing a space adventure because Halo's in space.
Yeah. I do want to play some Halo 5. I'm just saying, but I don't know if I can bring myself to play.
Yeah, get invested in that again.
I used to be good. I used to be a contender, they would say.
Yeah.
Dan says, your cat supports you? I think mine is broken. Well, you did name yours Solenbaum, so I think you kind of you named it, and that kind of made
set
it
yourself up for failure.
Yeah. Love Solenbaum, but he ain't a very loving cat in the Aragon books. Speaking of mystical and fantastical stories, rumor has it God of War Ragnarok DLC is going to be revealed this year.
What? We're talking about both my GOW games in the same story, in the same episode. It's crazy. Spanish outlet Aria Jugones has claimed that Sony Santa Monica Studio is set up to announce God of War Ragnarok DLC this year. And since we've only got a couple months left, there's a good chance it'll be announced at the Game Awards. Citing, quote, sources close to Sony, the report states that the DLC for Ragnarok could ship as a standalone product, similar to what happened with Spider-Man Miles Morales. The source has been accurate in the past, but still take it with a pinch of salt in case. It's worth remembering that God of War Ragnarok DLC has been rumored for some time now, with leaker The Snitch claiming back in August that DLC for the acclaimed title was, quote, on the way. Fast forwarding to September, the Twitter user ViewerAnon indicated that God of War content was in the works at Santa Monica, which could include Ragnarok DLC or a half sequel. And I know we've talked about this over the, since these stories have broken, but the more and more I see of this, the more all right, forget everything in the games industry. Sony in a vacuum, like when we see these patents, when we see these rumors, again, like when the Slim was unofficially unveiled, the detachable disk drive, that was patented months ago, and it comes to fruition. Regardless of what you feel like Sony's doing business-wise going forward, you can kind of pretty much admit that any kind of leaks and rumors revolving around anything PlayStation, you can pretty much 9 times out of 10 take to the bank. I do believe because Corey was interviewed and he's like, oh, there's no DLC for Ragnarok in the works. But I think he meant that for after launch. Right after launch, like kind of how Spider-Man 2018 kind of had DLC planned out the months after it launched.
Yeah.
I think that Corey sees like, hey, we introduced all these characters in Ragnarok. There's still stories to tell. And it kind of, again, like it helps bridge that gap between development time while they work on the next huge iteration that, these little in-betweens, like we've seen it with Uncharted Lost Legacy, with Spider-Man Miles Morales, like they can stand on their own. Now, are they the same as their predecessors? Like, can they churn out those 9 or 10 out of 10s? Not really, but they're good enough to basically all you got to do is slap the name on it and it sells for PlayStation. You know what I mean? It's like you can just slap
Yeah.
Uncharted, Spider-Man, doesn't matter what the tagline is, and it'll sell. So if you put God of War, a Game of the Year winner in 2018 and a Game of the Year contender in last year, and you put just another title up there, people will flock to it like moths to a flame. So I do think there is merit. Again, I don't know what if I would want. I feel like if it's shown this year and Game Awards, I feel like it'll be a standalone thing that'll release next year. But then again, you have Forbidden West when they had the Burning Shores DLC, which was actual DLC a year plus after the game had launched. So either way, just give me more God of War.
When was Burning Shores announced? Was it at Game Awards?
Oh, no, I think that was a showcase. Hold on.
For me, as you're looking this up, I want God of War content. I want more of it now rather than later.
Oh, you're right. It was Game Awards.
That's right. I don't remember a lot of things, but I remember that.
Right.
I'm good at predictions. I'm really good at those.
We know.
Still waiting on that Chick-fil-A. Anyway. I want this to happen. I want more story.
Yeah.
I know we talked about what we'd want from this and everything. I just want to know if it's real or not at this point. Like December 7th.
Yeah.
Game Awards. So I think that's the perfect time to announce it.
Yeah, I'm about to say, do you think, because I know Jeff Keighley has announced PlayStation stuff over like with Game Awards and with Summer Game Fest in the past. Do you think, because there's also that rumor that, PlayStation has a state of play in December as well. Do you think Sony would announce it first, or do you think they'll actually let Jeff Keighley have it?
Dude, if state of play is actually happening, it's going to be state of play.
Fair.
Now, I don't know, like if it's after Game Awards, then we see more of it at the state of play.
Ooh.
So we see like a little...
yeah.
And then you see God of War, whatever the name is.
Yeah.
That like all you got to do is have the song pop, and people are going to lose their mind.
Oh yeah.
All
you gotta have is the Gregorian monk chant. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, boy. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like all you gotta have is just like a little bit of the song, a little bit of Kratos or whatever.
Yeah.
And then you logo. That's all you need.
Yeah.
And then state of play.
That's pretty much all they did for Ragnarok reveal, like back in the showcase back in 2020, because that was the same showcase they announced Spider-Man 2. That's all they did. They had a little background noise and they showed the logo. That's it.
Yeah. And Jeff Keighley comes up like, tune in to the state of play on this day and you will know.
Yeah.
Boom. I'm glad you asked that, Mike.
Oh Lord, Mike, why?
I am glad that you asked, because I won that bet.
And there's video proof.
There's video proof, and you want to know why I won that bet? Because I'm good. I'm good at this. I might not read all the articles. I might not watch all the podcasts, but I know a man named Shuhei Yoshida, and he is full of what, Derek?
Grace.
He's full of grace, okay? And he has blessed me with the foresight to know when the PlayStation releases are and when to make them bets. And Derek bought me a delicious.
Let's be honest here. You are good at guessing when the years will be, and if because God of War was like, oh, it'll be delayed. No, it won't. Spider-Man, will it get delayed? No, it won't. But now, when you start getting the month, the date correct, then I will question you no more. I'll just ask you, and I'll be like, Zach, give me a date real quick. All right, cool. I'll go ahead and put my pre-order in.
I might not have the date down pat yet, but I will say this, Derek. I am undefeated in the E3 predictions that we used to do.
Yeah. I mean,
guys,
even though those early ones were vague as all get out, like, oh, they'll show no more than 20 games at this showcase. I'm like, okay, Zach.
Hey, I learned that from Colin Moriarty, so don't mess with me.
Lord,
Oh, guys,
Lord have
we hope that
mercy.
you're enjoying the show. Make sure to hit that like button. We are now jumping into the PlayStation Quickies.
So first off, Sony eyes quote really strong holiday season for PS5 with Spider-Man 2 leading the charge. PS5 Slim Call of Duty Modern Warfare 3 bundle is officially announced and will be launching November 10th along with the game and priced at $500. All PS Plus members get a discount on TV and movies from the Sony Pictures Core app for the month of November. Sean Layden hammers down the importance of preserving games. Quote, this isn't throwaway stuff we're making. Update, Connie Booth, head of internal production for PlayStation, has officially left Sony. Last week we talked about it was a rumor, now it's official. Gorilla, Bend Studio, Sony San Diego, and Insomniac will host live streams to raise funds for Children's Miracle Network hospitals. Arizona Sunshine 2 brings Undead Slaying Mayhem to PSVR 2 on December 7th. Vampire the Masquerade Justice on PSVR 2 gameplay has been showcased and is out today. Gran Turismo 7 gets a 4-player split screen option for PS5 with 7 new cars and more in free update. Fan-made Bloodborne cart gets official release date of January 31st. We'll have 12 racers, boss fights, and more. Insomniac confirms Marvel's Wolverine will be set in the same world as Marvel's Spider-Man. Spider-Man 2 player does an amazing job making the game look like the Marvel Noirverse, or the Noir universe, excuse me. New month of November, though you won't be able to get it till this upcoming Tuesday. We got free PS Plus Essentials games have been announced for November. For the PS4, you get Mafia 2 Definitive Edition and Dragon Ball The Breakers. And on PS5 and PS4, you get Aliens Fireteam Elite.
In Ball the Breakers.
I know.
Game.
They're Dead by Daylight, essentially.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm glad that Sean Layden is speaking out,
championing,
using his voice, championing that, what gaming is not just, a few weeks of the hype and everything, that this is stuff that actually matters. And I think it might be even a shot at PlayStation with the whole, you got to keep it connected to the internet or whatever with this drive and all of that. I like Sean Layden. You know, it'd be great, Derek, if it's not Shuhei Yoshida.
Sean Layden come back. Bring
Sean Layden back, just like old Disney did with Bob Iger. I'd love Sean Layden round 2.
Yeah, you're right, because some of that favorite PlayStation decisions came during his time.
Yeah, he was the one that set up all the success and made all the things that we love happen. What Jim Ryan? Jim Ryan just rode on the coattails.
Correct.
We saw what Jim Ryan did. We saw all the stupid stuff he did, all the bad stuff when he came in. It wasn't any of Sean. Sean, he's full of grace too. I'll give it to him.
Yeah.
He could be in the group. All right. All of that good stuff. Guys, we're about to jump into the Patreon quick hits. And you're asking, what are the Patreon quick hits, Zach? Well, they're quick hits. They're brought to you by our wonderful patrons. You can become part of the ship, part of the exclusive crew by going to patreon.com/nerdcave. And we actually have a free tier, so you can jump over there. If you're over on Patreon, you would have known that when we finished recording our Spider-Man review, I took a little screen cap. I put a little screen cap. I was like, hey, we just recorded that. And you're just like, oh, wow, that's awesome. I'm glad to know that. You get a lot of cool exclusive stuff over there. And if you want to keep the lights and mics on, you want to support us, you can pick a tier that best fits you and your budget. It helps us out a lot. It helps us do more cool stuff where we really want to do an anime show. So help us out, guys.
Them is me.
Yes. So, guys, go support us. Patreon.com/nerdcave. It's also down in the description below. We got a lot of quick hits.
Yeah, we do.
Strap yourself in, get cozy, pull that blanket up, snuggle in, because here we go. The Patreon quick hits.
First up, Batman Arkham Knight update adds Robert Pattinson's The Batman suit, then takes it away. Ubisoft has delayed an undisclosed quote large game which would have originally released in March into its next fiscal year. Ubisoft is also shutting down online services for older games like Assassin's Creed 2 and Brotherhood. Cyberpunk 2077 dev never considered making an expansion set after the game's endings. CD Projekt Red also wants its Cyberpunk games to have a quote similar evolution to how the Witcher games evolved. Microsoft reorganization includes a new Xbox president and studios leader. Dinosaur Comics author Ryan North joins writing team on EA Motive's Iron Man. Lollipop Chainsaw Repop to include revamped combat will, quote, do away with sluggishness in chainsaw battles. Capcom earnings report details that Resident Evil 4 has sold nearly 5.5 million copies, with Street Fighter 6 selling almost 2.5 million. Capcom reveals it is working on its next-gen RE engine codenamed Rex or REX. Capcom has a major unannounced game due out by the end of its current fiscal year. Street Fighter 6's latest fighting pass brings Final Fight-themed items. Resident Evil 9 reportedly, quote, has the biggest budget of the series, is not expected to launch until 2025. New Lords of the Fallen patch makes the game easier and adds full crossplay. Atari's Berserk Recharged gets a November 9th release date. Epic Games confirms the next season of Fortnite brings players back to Chapter 1. Disney Dreamlight Valley leaving early access on December 5th and will no longer be free to play. Following that, Dreamlight Valley, a Rift in Time expansion has been revealed, with free content roadmap including Monsters Inc. for early 2024. Apex Legends will support cross progression in Season 19. Take-Two patents locomotion tech for GTA 6 and promises, quote, highly dynamic and realistic animations. Some Alan Wake and Remedy news. Sam Lake eyes, quote, crazy huge budget dark gothic fantasy game. Alan Wake 2 DLC Night Springs and the Lake House detailed by Remedy. Remedy confirms Max Payne 1 and 2 remake has progressed into, quote, production readiness stage. Remedy issues Control 2 update and reveals it's still in, quote, proof of concept stage. Remedy praises Epic Games for allowing them to, quote, make the game we wanted. Remedy confirms Alan Wake Remastered has finally broke even. From Software kicks off huge recruitment drive for new projects. Dead Space 3 producer says he would, quote, redo it almost completely if given the chance. Hunt Showdown single-player campaign has not been ruled out by Crytek. Quantum Error has already made back its development budget. Following that, Quantum Error Part 2 is already in the works. Rumor WWE 2K24 will be dedicated to the career of Bray Wyatt, rest in peace. Embark Studios, The Finals, is using AI voices because it, quote, gets us far enough in terms of quality. Atari confirms it has entered into an agreement to acquire Digital Eclipse. Kingdom Hearts Missing Link teaser trailer confirms 2024 mobile release. Deltarune will be available to purchase when Chapter 4 is done, and Chapter 5 will be to arrive later. Nintendo Switch Online gets 2 obscure NES games, Devil World and the Mysterious Murasame Castle, and Castlevania Legends for the Game Boy for Halloween. Switch will soon be losing the Twitch app. David Hayter promotes Metal Gear Solid in new Konami campaign, saying, quote, this is only the beginning. Tekken 8 reveals Elisa, Devil Jin, Lee, and Zafina in new trailer, and teases 2 more characters for base roster. Lies of P sequel has been confirmed and the DLC was teased with 2 new images. Sonic Dream Team is a new 3D action platformer hitting Apple Arcade on December 5th. Sega's, quote, super game is coming along at a steady pace. Remnant 2's first DLC, The Awakened King, has a release date of November 14th. Nickelodeon All-Star Brawl 2 reveals 4 DLC characters, confirming early leaks. Yu Suzuki says Shenmue 4 will be more enjoyable for newcomers. Call of Duty Modern Warfare 3 will also feature returning multiplayer maps from 2022's Modern Warfare 2. Battlefield 2042 record engagement prompts EA to double down in support for the game. Elden Ring Shadow of the Erd Tree DLC production is, quote, proceeding smoothly. Mario Kart 8 Deluxe's final booster course pass wave includes new tracks, racers, music player, and more.
A lot of great quick hits. I just want to bring up a few of them.
Mm-hmm.
Ubisoft's undisclosed large game getting delayed. I think this is Star Wars Outlaws.
I do agree too, because in the article it does show the screenshot being Outlaws. Now, of course, there's no rumor or there's no confirmation about it, but this was also, I don't think they gave a actual day and date, but I think it was set for around March or at least first Q1 of 2023 or 2024, excuse me. So all signs point to this makes sense, because why would they quote undisclosed large game? Like, this is the only large game, because if it was originally coming out this year, Ubisoft would already announced it. Like,
Yeah, 100%.
I mean, or just say it was Skull and Bones. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's not a large game. Yeah, I'm sure that it's Outlaws, and if it needs more time to gestate, I'd rather get a good game than a bad game. You know,
Yeah.
so only time will tell.
Especially after, Jedi Survivor just did what it did. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah,
don't just settle.
yeah, don't settle. Embark Studios, the final, using AI voice. I know there's
Yeah.
a lot of talk about, AI, Ubisoft using AI to help write dialogue for NPCs. They're really going hard in some of that. But Embark using this, I was watching Kind of Funny. They were talking about this, and they played the AI voices. And
Oh my gosh, it was terrible.
At first, it's like, okay, that's not bad, like really bad. But then it's like, oh, this is weird. This does not feel right. And it doesn't cost that much to get a voice actor.
Doesn't.
The amount that you're having to do in the AI voice to make it, say what you need to say. You could just bring a voice actor in and pay them not that much. Really, voice actors do not get paid well.
No, they don't.
And then boom, you've got something that sounds good, but gets us far enough in terms of quality. That tells me right there, this game is going to suck. If they're going to cut the corner right there, it's like, hey, it's far enough. That's far enough.
Some might say DBA, Dead Before Arrival.
Yeah. Last one, David Hayter promoting Metal Gear Solid. This is the only beginning. This is only the beginning. Do we see more new Metal Gear?
I mean, I certainly think that's what that means, but I also think it's like a hope. Like, I think that if Delta, the remake, to Metal Gear Solid 3, does really well, then I think that they have a hit on their hands, and they're just going to go full bore with this IP.
Yeah.
And make it a huge comeback and make it relevant again.
Yeah. Now, the only problem is once they get into new territory, they're not going to have the mad genius that comes up with these crazy stories.
Correct.
And then we're facing a Metal Gear Survival issue.
But then let's be fair. By the time now, I don't know if they'll remake the entire like series of Metal Gear, because they made a bunch of spin-offs set in the same world and whatnot. But let's just say they reboot the core 5 titles, and that's still going to take at least a decade to do all of them, or at least do them right. You know what I mean? So probably longer than that. So they've got time to try and work out the kinks, or maybe even Sony will do the unthinkable and buy the IP rights from it and just let Kojima have it again.
Yeah. Now, I would love to see 1, 2. We're getting 3. I want to see 1 and 2 remastered as well. I think 4 holds up pretty well. 5 really
I would agree.
Come out that long ago, in the grand scheme of things.
8 years.
But like, if I was going to remake something, I'd remake 4 over 5.
I mean, right. You're right. But also, again, we live in a world where Last of Us Part 1 was
Sure.
not even barely a half a decade old, and they still rebooted that.
Now, 5 was Kiefer Sutherland. Do we see David Hayter reprise his voice for Metal Gear Solid 5?
I think you would do it justice, because I know
100%.
Because I forget the actual story, but I know David Hayter felt some type of way about him being replaced.
Yeah, it was a weird situation, and yes, Kiefer Sutherland did an awesome job, but it didn't feel like Solid Snake.
Correct.
It didn't feel like I was playing a Metal Gear game, because it wasn't David. So,
right.
Only time will tell what Konami is up to, because they're crazy. They're just raking in that pachinko money and trying to be a game company at the same time. So I don't even know at this point, but that is our episode this week. We hope that you enjoyed it. We hope that you got all the news that you need to know, because this has been Zach.
And Tony, the Collector Ricci.
Y'all have a blessed week. Bye. Boom. Guys, let us know. What did you think of the episode? What was your favorite story?
Mm-hmm.
Never ending story. Hey. Never ending story. Did you ever watch Never Ending Story?
No, it's that.
Never ending story. It's like the flying dog.
Oh,
and
yeah,
the
like that.
horse dies
Like,
in the mud.
yes, okay. I was like, is that the same one? Because I felt like it was like never ending something else. But yeah, no, I watched that movie.
Yeah. Yeah. And the big turtle that's like angry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was a trippy movie, but it was good.
It was the 80s. It was
I mean, you're
weird.
right though.
It was a weird
Everyone
movie.
was doing acid.
Yeah, that movie was definitely like an acid movie. That and Labyrinth, acid movies. You know? But that song, Never Ending Story. Like, it's just a banger, dude. It just hits and you're just like, yeah, say it again. And they're like, we got you, fam. Never Ending Story. Like, just saying.
Yeah.
Just saying, you never ending story. It's just there, Derek. It's like right here. I've only seen the movie once. We watched Never Ending Story 2. Not as good.
I don't remember a never ending story too, so maybe that's just, it's a better thing.
It was good in Stranger Things season 2. I don't even remember Stranger Things. Okay, I do remember Stranger Things season 2. Then Bob. Super Bob. Also, Dark Crystal, not that good of a movie.
Remember when who was it? Was it Ubisoft or no? It was Nintendo. Did that like whole showcase with like the Dark Crystal Tactics game, like where it was turn based, and they tried to. I think the game was actually decent, but it's just like they brought back this old franchise that banked on nostalgia, and people were like, "What is this?"
Well, it was because Netflix did a new series with it.
Oh, that's right. I remember that.
Yeah, we watched the movie like a year ago or something,
and
it was just like, all right, this is kind of weird. Like, this is not that good. Not that good. But you know what is good, Derek?
Coffee brand coffee.
Never ending story.
Oh,
dude, I'm gonna have to pat myself on the back. If I'm lying, I'm dying. That was one of the smoothest transitions into coffee brand coffee ad we've had on the show. On this episode. Man, that was smooth. Like some good coffee, like coffee brand coffee. You can get some coffee brand coffee right now, 5% off on your orders. And you could join me live and sing to Derek, Never Ending Story.
Please no.
Never Ending Story. See, I'll sing it worse. I'll sing it worse. You want to mess with me? I'll make it unpleasant.
You don't have to. Please, just stop.
Then can we kill Son Goku? Yeah.
Yes.
I'm where Gohan. Well, Cell is back after exploding, and he's singing the "He is for perfection." You know, he's singing a song.
Oh, I forgot about yeah.
So good. Like Team 4-Star, awesome.
They and their Duffy.
Yep. So good. So good. You should go watch it. You know, would be awesome, Derek.
What?
Talk about some anime.
You right.
Which I watched some more Vinland Saga season 2.
And
I like season 1 more.
Okay. Have you finished season 2?
I haven't finished season 2 yet.
Okay.
But like season 1, it's like all this like war stuff, and it's like super dope. And like I understand the story that's going on. Like I like the story.
Yeah.
But man, it was way cooler in the first season.
Mm-hmm.
Like this one, it's like, to be the perfect warrior, you have no enemies.
Yeah.
You only see people. You don't see enemies. So
That's a bar.
My dude, Ascalon, showed up. So you know what I had to do, Derek? You know,
switch it to sub.
I had to switch it to sub so I could hear Madara's voice. You just watched the same episode today. I am the hype. Y'all need to go watch Team 4 Star. It is not family friendly. I will just tell you that.
So don't watch it with your kids.
Yeah. Or if you're, yeah. It's not family friendly.
Yeah. What was I gonna say? I'm speaking of which, I can't wait. Of course, I'm tempted just to start it. Do what you did with Demon Slayer season 3 and Spy Family, which I don't know. I haven't looked because it's not on Funimation. It's on Crunchyroll. Have they started dubbing Spy Family season 2 yet?
They have. I looked. I think it was Sunday when I looked last. I'm pulling up Crunchyroll right now.
I imagine they only have 2 episodes though.
It was like 1 or 2. Find a relog in apparently. Shout out to Brandon. Giving me that login. What am I looking for? Spy Family. That's what I'm looking for. Season 2. Yeah, we only have 2 episodes. So Sunday we'll probably get the 3rd episode. So I don't know when we will start watching it because Amy and I watch it together.
Right.
So I kind of want to at least get like a few more dubbed episodes in because I don't want to like, okay, we're going to watch it and then we watch like 2 episodes and then it's like, okay, then we wait. Like I hate having to wait.
Right.
You know what I mean?
It's like SpongeBob, like just sitting there with the coffee cup.
Yeah. So you were saying like, what are you wanting to watch? Like that isn't dubbed yet.
Oh, I mean, they haven't. I mean, they're dubbing it as they go. It's just I don't. I usually wait to binge it all in one go. But I don't know. I'm very tempted to start watching it episodically. But Jujutsu Kaisen season 2, my goodness, it's arguably the arc they're in is like the best arc in the manga. But my goodness, they just keep hyping it up so much, and I'm like, do I? Because I need to rewatch season 1 to like get to refresh my memory on where they're at going in. And it's like, do I just want to start because they've got a bunch of it dubbed. Like we're in the middle of the current season, but it's like, do I want to just start watching it? But then it's like I've got so much else to watch, and I'm like, by the time I get to it, it'll all be out in dub, and I can watch it. So I don't know. I'm debating, but it's like kind of want to be there for the moments as they happen.
Yeah. Like I've thought about watching it, but I haven't been like in the super mood for anime recently. So
yes.
Yeah, I don't know. It just hasn't like other than like Team 4 Star because like I'm enjoying that, but like like other anime like when I'm like laying in bed and like Amy is like asleep like on a weekend or whatever, I'll watch.
It's because you already finished Demon Slayer and My Hero Academia and you're just kind of needing that void filled.
Yeah, like if season 2 of Vinland was like as bomb as like season 1. I'd be all down, but it's like they're like working on the farm. Thorfinn's a slave.
Yeah.
And that's really about it. Now, you know who's in season 2? Who's a voice actor in season 2 of Vinland Saga?
I think Ian Sinclair, old Whis himself, right?
Sure, I guess so. I'm not even talking about him.
Okay, who?
Chris Sabat.
Okay, that makes sense too. You know what I mean?
Yeah, Chris Sabat's in there. Dan says Jujutsu is amazing. The current season is crazy. I guess I need to watch like Derek. Give me the elevator pitch for Jujutsu Kaisen.
Okay, it's got the whole it's very Naruto-esque.
Power of friendship.
Not really. Like
Okay.
there is one team up battle, but like later in season 1. But like dude's got this entity in him that's
Okay.
like
Okay.
world ending and ingests something that triggers the thing inside him.
Uh-huh.
And like the teacher, the sensei, OP is all get out. Like but like the entity starts to come out in the first episode, the sensei bodies him from the get-go, and it's like and it's just like crazy. But of course, you know that there's other parts of the entity that has to be ingested. So of course, the more that's ingested, the stronger he gets. And it's all about curses. Like it's all about like not demonic, but like it is curses. And like they use curse energy. They're called sorcerers, and they use curse energy as their weapons to defeat the curses. And they have this whole like team, like team 7, like the main character, the rival, and then of course with the female side. But the female side character gets at the end of the season pretty good. Like just saying, like pretty good.
Not Sakura.
Exactly.
More like Tsunade, I'm assuming.
Not really a healer, but yes. In terms of like power, yes. But and then you see like stuff starting to form and like the overall arc, because I mean Jujutsu does this weird thing where they kind of like jump skip, because they did the first season. Then like there's this prequel that turns into a movie that kind of sets up for, because they kind of reference stuff about the movie in season 1.
Okay.
And then season 2 starts off with apparently a prelude to some of the character, like the sensei and his best friend, like back to like how they kind of happened with their dynamic. So they kind of.
I should watch the prelude stuff, like the sensei and all that, then watch the movie, then watch season 1, then watch the rest of season 2, is what you're telling me.
I mean, yes and no. You don't have to. Like, if you want to watch it in chronological order to get order of timeline, yes. But can you watch it? Because can you still watch it as it released, like season 1 movie, season 2, like the start of season 2, and still get all the gaps filled in? Yes.
Team 3-star. I love in the Cell games, like Krillin's like Team 3-star and Vegeta's like no, and then Yamcha's like, is that a club? Can I join? And then both Vegeta and Krillin are like, no.
Right.
That's hilarious. And I love how Cell likes Yamcha. He's like he's like, you shouldn't take that. Don't say thank you.
It's just so crazy.
It's hilarious. I love it. Dan says, I think you should watch season 1 first. So I shouldn't watch the movie then season 1?
Yeah, watch season 1 because it references, because the sensei has a boss moment in the movie, but you got to see the build up to his character first in season 1.
Okay. Will I watch it? I don't know. I don't know.
I think you would do yourself a disservice if you didn't at least attempt season 1.
Maybe. Like, I'm not feeling it right now. Like, the anime itch.
I'm about to say, pick the right time.
Like, if I'm going to spend time doing anything at the moment, it's going to be playing games. Like, that's what I'm feeling right now. Is like,
we're in peak game release season, so I mean, it only makes sense.
So I'm like, okay, what's the next one that I'm going to topple? You know what I mean? What
Alan Wake 2.
What am I going to add to my trophy list? What am I going to crave it up in here on? You know what I mean? Because that's how it was with Spider-Man 2. I'm like, boom, done, on the wall. Am I going after the platinum? Yeah, that's my goal.
Yeah.
I might do that on stream. You know, work on the platinum and everything.
Right.
It would be nice to just do it like on my other save. But, you know, New Game Plus worked.
Fair.
You know.
They're working on it.
Yeah, but once I get there, I'm going to be already... Unless they're putting it out next week. That would be dope.
I mean, fair.
That'd be dope. Down for that.
Only time will tell.
I'd be like, crashing fools. You know what I mean? New game. Because New Game Plus and the other one, like you already had all your upgrades and everything from the.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, you know what I want to hear from Derek?
Who?
We're
What?
back in video game mode for a second.
Mm-hmm.
Ghost 2. Where's Ghost 2?
Oh, that's like, dude. So after Spider-Man 2 release, they showed this poster of like big studios, the one we don't talk about, Gone Are the Days of Old,
Yeah.
is that Ghost of Tsushima, Spider-Man 2, Horizon Forbidden West, and God of War Ragnarok. And it's like, yeah, the other ones are sequels. We won't see a sequel to the game we don't talk about. Like they're just working on a new IP. But it's like, man, Ghost 2, like, so just think about, like, not only are we anticipating, like, when we can at least just talk about it, like, see it for the first time, right? Like, open our present on Christmas morning.
Yeah.
How epic will it be? Because you got to think about those three, right? God of War 2018 to Ragnarok, Horizon Zero Dawn to Forbidden West, Spider-Man 1 to 2. Like, how big a leaps those games took in gameplay and storytelling and character development. Like, can you imagine what Ghost would look like? You know what I mean? Like, it's going to be insane. Like, Sucker Punch, what you doing, dog? Like, give it to me.
Like, Iki Island came out August 2021.
Right.
The base game came out in 2020.
Mm-hmm.
What was Sucker Punch's game before that? Was that Infamous Second Son? That was
Yes,
2014.
it was Second Son.
Dude, that was like 6 years. But again, it was a totally new IP and everything, and they put a ton into it. But them to be able to turn around DLC within a year, that's pretty impressive. So next year would be a great year for Ghost 2. Saying.
Yeah.
Just saying.
Bro, like, I know it wouldn't be a full release, but again, my heart wouldn't be like, because you know how last year we got Forbidden West at the beginning of 2022 and Ragnarok at the end of 2022. My heart could not handle if the interquel or like the DLC for Ragnarok came out and we got Ghost 2 in the same year. My heart would not be able to handle it.
And we're gonna get DLC for Spider-Man, hopefully. So
yeah, hopefully. So, yeah, there's already rumors swirling around. People found a secret room.
Yeah. He should not be named. Yeah. Because like looking at their track record, looking at Sucker Punch's track record, Infamous 2009.
Yeah.
Infamous 2 2011. Second Son 2014. So they were able to put out a game like every 3 years.
Yeah.
And Second Son, from Infamous 2 to Second Son, that's a whole new console generation as well.
Correct.
So, looking about time, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Plus, you had like that infamous.
First Light.
Yeah, you had First Light, and then you had the one that was like vampire or something like that. It was like blood.
Festival of Blood, which was after Infamous 2.
Yeah. So, I will say, Spider-Man 2 reminded me a lot of Prototype in a lot of ways later on.
That's fair. Yeah, that is fair.
Yeah. You know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about. Prototype, good game.
It is. It was.
Crazy.
Didn't get its fair shake because it came out the same year as Infamous.
Yeah. Prototype 1's ending couldn't beat the final boss. Prototype 2, it was still cool. A lot of fun.
Yeah.
But not, Prototype 1 was way better.
Yeah.
Way better. Yeah, didn't get its flowers as an Infamous.
You're right.
Infamous, as they would say.
Y'all got that infamous. I told you that story, right?
Oh yeah.
That's like, hey, we got that. You got that Infamous game? No, but we got Infamous.
Yeah, I remember the GameStop manager when I first moved to Troy. I came in because I just got a PlayStation 3. Like I bought a PlayStation 3 right as I was leaving to go to Troy because I wanted to play God of War 3, which was about to come out, and I wanted to play Metal Gear Solid 4. Who wants to play Resistance in their crappy controls?
Their loose controls.
Man, like I couldn't even play Uncharted until they like remastered that bad boy.
Right.
Well,
and they gave you a real controller, not a McDonald's toy for a controller either.
Anyway, I came in and I was like, I want to get Infamous. He was like, you're like one of the only people that have said that game's name right. And I'm like, you are a college town. I would hope that there's more educated people there, but I was proved wrong. I was proved wrong over the years that I lived in Troy, Alabama.
And I say, welcome to the armpit of Alabama. Like,
yeah. Oh my Lord. Oh my Lord. Well, guys, that's going to do it for us tonight. We hope that you enjoyed it. Make sure to come back on Tuesday where we start our playthrough of Spider-Man 2. We're going to be jumping into it. It is going to be an amazing time. We're going to have a ton of fun. So be there, be a part of that, and go watch our review for Spider-Man 2. I think you'll enjoy it. Y'all have a good night. Huh?
Spoiler free.
Yeah, spoiler free. Ain't gonna get spoiled. We'll spoil you with information, but we're not gonna spoil you with spoilers.
Yeah.
Like a kid gets spoiled. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Like, we'll give you chocolate when you ask for it, but we're not going to tell you that the Joker shows up in Spider-Man 2.
Yeah, Gandalf shows up on the light of the third day.
Right. Look to the east.
Yeah. All right, guys. We love y'all. Y'all have a wonderful night. We'll talk to y'all later. Bye.